Welcome to the Yerba Power Podcast, where we share the power of yerba mate with the world. Introducing your host, Devin.
Welcome back to another episode of the Yerba Power Podcast. Thanks for joining us on today's conversation. I'm your host, Devin, your guide through the world of gourd, bombilla, and yerba mate. Today, we're diving into something both tasty and healing, herbs and spices to blend into your mate. And this is both for flavor enhancement and health benefits. So by the end of this episode, you'll have a couple of things to try to add to your mate for flavor and health benefits for your body, and even share a couple of listeners' blends. So there are a couple of brands out there that blend herbs already mixed together in a bag. You just buy the bag with the herbs mixed together. These are usually called compuestas. So yerba mate compuesta, which is a composite, a mix of different herbs together. A couple brands come to mind. That I can put a link to several of those in the description of this podcast, down at the bottom, the links in the show notes. And I'll put my affiliate link in there to Pampa Direct in case you're interested. And a discount, you can use my code and I'll put it in there. But if you go back a few episodes, I've also talked about this yerba mate blending with a whole series, like a whole 4-part series. But shout out to Hugo Yerba Mate and Heretic Yerba Mate because they're both US-based blends and they contain a lot of cool herbs for the health benefits. And I've tested those out, had some different reviews on those as well. So just go check those other episodes out for more on that. So why would you even want to add herbs or spices to your mate? So you may be saying, Devin, okay, I was just curious, but why do I care? Right, so you can use the herbs and spices not only to make the yerba less bitter or just change the flavor profile altogether, but some of these herbs and spices have added health benefits for your body. So whether you're just looking for a different flavor or maybe digestion help, immune support, or just want to experiment, there's something for everyone. And let's break this down. So if you're new to yerba mate, let me start with the easiest herbs you can add, and then we'll progressively share some other herbs before moving on to the spices. So starting with the easiest one, I think, also my favorite, is mint. You can use peppermint or spearmint. Either one works well. The flavor on this is a cooling, refreshing. For me, the stronger the better. I have a couple of different blends that I like that are super minty. Let's see, Korupi. They have a mint one that is one of my favorites. The Heretic has a great mint one. I'm trying to think of some other brands that mint comes off the top of my head. I'll have to think about that and put those in here as well. But the benefits on that, believe it or not, mint not only just for the freshness, but it actually aids in digestion, can even help with headaches, and of course, freshen your breath. Who doesn't like that? Mint is a classic, and it gives your mate a crisp, clean aftertaste, which is perfect if you're drinking it on a hot or warm day. Summer right now here in the northern hemisphere, great for tereré, which is cold brewed yerba mate. Or if you're just sharing with some friends, mint is a common flavor that I have found not only cuts some of the bitterness in yerba, but is something that is pretty much open to all palates as far as sharing with a friend or someone new to yerba mate. I'd recommend picking up some fresh mint from a farmer's market or in the fresh vegetables refrigerator section of your local grocery store. You can obviously, get dried mint, but I'd recommend, just getting some fresh mint. You could even buy a mint plant from, like Walmart or something, and just grow it yourself. If you're got a green thumb or adventurous like that. And mint grows really easily. Chamomile, in Spanish, is called manzanilla. So this is more of a nighttime or calming. So I would say, well, let me start with the flavor, right? Let me go in order. So it's a light apple-like sweetness, and the benefit is that it not only soothes your stomach, so like a digestive aid, but helps promote sleep. It's kind of a nighttime sleep aid, is a tea, is a herbal remedy, let's say. So it's perfect for late afternoon mate, or if you just want to chill, and it blends well with the lighter yerbas or even the roasted mate. The easiest way to get this would be from an organic or reputable brand of chamomile tea. I would suggest a loose leaf brand, not the tea bags, just for there's certain questions of the tea bag itself, and also the quality of that chamomile being processed and everything. And there's some other brands out there that are more reputable, let's say. But yeah, I would say loose leaf chamomile tea if possible. Lemongrass. So this is number 3. So mint was number 1, chamomile number 2. Now we're getting into a little bit deeper here. Is number 3, lemongrass. So it's a citrusy, just like it sounds, lemongrass. Citrusy like lemon, with a floral note. The benefit of lemongrass is that it's calming and great for digestion, and also reducing anxiety. Lemongrass gives your mate a spa-like twist. It's amazing for winding down and pairs beautifully with green yerba for a bright finish. And you can find this in the produce section, or oftentimes at an Asian grocery store. There are several Indian stores around here in Nashville that I've seen this at. So you might want to check that if you have that as an option. So lemon, number 4, lemon verbena. I had to look this up in English because I only know it in Spanish as cedrón. So cedrón is a herb that grows natively in Argentina and I believe Chile. It's a citrus, like lemon, like it sounds, and floral, also kind of like lemongrass. The only difference here is that this one is native to South America. It's also has some other health benefits I'm aware of for your nervous system. So soothing for nerves, ideal for winding down after a stressful day, similar to chamomile. Also something you could blend well with chamomile or mint. And then you could mix this. There's a lot of the compuesta yerbas that you can buy with cedrón already mixed into it. Or you can even just buy cedrón tea from like Pampa Direct or somewhere. So you just buy the tea and then just add that to your mate. Number 5. So going a little bit deeper here now. Number 5 is rosemary. So this is looks kind of like almost like a pine leaf, and it has that kind of earthy, slightly piney taste to it. It is a lot of benefits though for boosting your memory, so cognitive benefits, circulation, and even anti-inflammatory effects. So this one is, a little bit more for the adventurous, but just a pinch will add a bold, like Mediterranean vibe, and also great for your mental clarity. So it's a great choice for, doing some deep work or a study session, something that, to try out. Number, 6 is holy basil. So this one is not the same basil that you cook with, but it's slightly sweet and spicy. And the benefits here is adaptogen. So it helps with stress and supports immunity. It's like a herbal hug, especially nice when you're feeling a little worn out or under the weather. This is another one that you could look for in an Asian grocery store, but don't get it confused with Thai basil. And you can also find it in your local market, possibly. So those are the herbs that we talked about, from easiest to, I guess, more complicated, more adventurous. Is number 1, mint. Number 2, chamomile. 3, lemongrass. 4, lemon verbena or citron. Number 5, rosemary. And number 6, holy basil. Now, getting into the spices to supercharge your mate. This is going to be kind of similar in the sense of complexity, I guess, here. I'm going to start with ginger. And because ginger is, I guess, what I've noticed a lot more easier, readily available than maybe before. But I think the benefit here too, and the blend is something that I would recommend probably on a first person. Now, not everyone loves ginger, but because it has like this spicy flavor to it. But the benefits are pretty big. It's great for digestion, nausea, and circulation. So fresh ginger that you can buy just from the grocery store, peel the skin off with even with a fork. I've learned that as a hack. You can use the fork to just kind of skin it off real quick instead of using one of those cheese graters. But a game changer, especially in colder months or when you're feeling a little under the weather or just need a little zing to get going. My wife always puts this in the water for the thermos anytime she's sick or immune system's down, or same for me. She'll cut up pieces of ginger, throw it in the water, and that way that ginger infuses in the water and goes in every mate sip that you take. Cinnamon would be number 2. And again, a very easy thing to get. Again, I understand that some people don't like cinnamon, but these are some really great health benefits and spices for your mate. And so use, I guess, with discretion however you want, but these are, the suggestions. So I guess what I'm just saying, I'm just trying to be helpful. So flavor profile in this would be a kind of a sweet warming flavor. And it does help cut some of the bitterness for the yerba. The benefits are also really good about your blood sugar. It's anti-inflammatory, circulation, and cinnamon in your mate is great for like a fall. It's like fall in a gourd. Plus, it makes the whole experience kind of comforting. It's something you could either add it in the water or in the mate itself, mix it in, which I'll get into that a little bit later. Number 3, clove. So all these spices you should be able to find in your local grocery store, by the way. Clove is strong and spicy and sweet. Its benefits are antibacterial, so great for tooth and gum health. But go easy on the clove. It's potent. Just 1 or 2 in your yerba, and that's probably about all. And it can give you a cozy Christmas vibe. Cardamom is number 4. The flavor on this is sweet and citrusy and a little minty. The benefit, though, is that it helps with digestion and freshen breath. Cardamom is kind of that underdog spice, but a tiny pinch adds some elegance. And seriously, try it with the cinnamon and even a hint of orange peel or the cloves. You can use a chai mate vibe. In fact, again, shout out to Heretic Yerba Mate. They have a great chai mate blend. It uses real cardamom. It's like a little kind of a nut-looking shape. And now I'm going to throw in a couple wild cards and power plants here beyond the herbs and spices. And these are just a couple bonus, let's say. So number 1 is moringa leaves. So this is high in iron, protein, and antioxidants. Moringa is kind of like the green superfood cousin of yerba. You can mix a little pinch of that dried moringa powder or the leaves, but you can get probably the dry. I've got it off Amazon anyways, the dry moringa powder, and your body will thank you. It is a very strong green super power. So I guess, again, start small. Rose petals. Yep, rose. Dried organic petals give your mate a subtle floral sweetness and pair beautifully with green yerba. And not to mention, it makes your bombilla look classy. There's also rose petal water that you could try as well. I've seen this at some of the Asian stores, specifically Middle Eastern, sell it like as a blended water, like in a little bottle. Lavender buds, or just lavender. It's a little dreamy, a little earthy, and give you a nice floral blend. Lavender adds calm and clarity. Great for Sunday mornings or just creative work sessions. So now we talked about a couple of different herbs, spices, and even the bonus, power plants. How do you add these? How do you start enjoying this in your mate? So you've got a couple options. One is just to mix it with the dry yerba. So in other words, you just mix in the yerba into your gourd, pour like some cinnamon or ginger or whatever you want to add. So for example, you want to add some little bit of pinch of mint, maybe a little pinch of the cedron, or maybe you want to add a little bit of ginger and just the lemon, let's say. You mix that in with the dry yerba in your gourd, shake it up, mix it around, and just start drinking it that way. So basically just adding the herbs into the gourd itself. Or you can steep it separately and pour it as the water. So in other words, like I said, with my wife, putting ginger literally in the water, putting, whatever herbs, spices you want into the water itself, hot or cold. And then when you are drinking the mate, all those herbs and spices are still in the water itself. So that way it kind of gets in every pore and not just so concentrated. That would probably, depending on what herbs and spices you're adding, would be maybe my suggestion there. At least one way that I've tried it, because sometimes, you'll get like a whole lot of cinnamon on one pore and nothing else, or something like that, just a way to blend it a little bit, distribute it better, let's say. And then the last one, probably the easiest though, would be to just infuse it as a tea. So in other words, you put a tea kettle, you pour in yerba in the tea kettle with the other herbs and spices, and just brew it like you would brew tea. This is often called mate cocido, but it's just brewing it like tea, and just plain and simple. And so that way, when you're drinking everything in that tea that's infused. You can even do this in your coffee maker, believe it or not. I have a little video I did brewing yerba in your coffee maker on my Instagram channel. It's one of the pinned reels on there if you want to check that out. All right, so before we wrap this up, give a couple shout outs to a couple listeners that sent me a couple recipes. So Andres from Córdoba sent his favorite blend. I mixed yerba with boldo, which is another herb I should have mentioned. That's in a lot of the compuestas as well. So boldo, mint, and orange peel. It's perfect after a big meal, and my abuela taught me this one. So gracias, Andres. Sounds delicious and digestive. Morning Clarity from Clara in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Shout out to New Mexico. That's where my dad grew up. I call this my sunrise sip. I drink it before my journaling sessions. So yerba mate with a teaspoon of dried rosemary and a teaspoon of the cedron, a pinch of some grated orange peel. Got a citrusy and crisp, and so the focus, mental clarity, and mild mood elevation. Spice Ritual from Thomas in Toronto, Ontario. So shout out to Canada. Inspired by my chai, my grandma's chai, but mate style. Okay, so yerba mate, green or roasted, cinnamon stick, fresh ginger, slice of fresh ginger, 2 cardamom pods, tiny pinch of black pepper. So like a South American chai hybrid. Thomas drinks it on cold afternoons or after big meals. Warming, digestive support, circulation boost. All those are benefits of that. So there you have it, mates. Herbs and spices aren't just for flavor, but tradition, and medicine. That's all for today's brew. My friends, I hope you found a few new herbs and herbspiration ideas to energize your mate game. Tag us at Yerba Mate Power on Instagram with your favorite combos, because we love seeing your gourds and might even feature you in next week's episode. If you love this episode, please rate, review, and share with your yerba-loving crew. It really means the world to me, personally, Devin, and my family, knowing that this yerba mate movement is getting shared all over the world. Just having this little space to share something I'm passionate about, and it really means a lot that you guys support, so I really appreciate the love, and thank you all for that listen. And until next time, sip slow, share often, and stay grounded.